Welcome back. You're on Business This Week as opposed to Business Tonight, which we do on the other evenings. It's more of a laid-back look at the highlights of the week. And if you missed them, we try and tell you what to think about them, and if you don't need to think about them. Singa Gunklise is still with me. He's from Rand Swiss, and joining us is the man behind Africa's largest mall. That's what they're saying about it. His name is James Ehlers, MD of Atterbury Property Development. Evening to you, James. Been quite a week for you, hasn't it? But it's been a good one by the sounds of it, apart from the traffic issues.
It's been exceptionally good. I mean, we've been working for 4 years on this project. We had obviously a lot of pressure, a lot of things to do on a mall this size, and we had a wonderful opening. The traffic chaos was fortunately limited to yesterday, it would appear. Today.
Well, it's a compliment in a way, isn't it?
Well, we estimated we hoped to get 60,000 people through the mall, and by the time we closed yesterday, we had measured 122,000 people through the mall. You can always have a lot of people with a little spend, but the spend 100% matched the number of people that came in. So the retailers are happy, the public is happy, and obviously a little bit of traffic congestion caused a lot of publicity,
yeah.
But all in all, I think we had a wonderful opening.
Before Singer comes in, if you know that the spend has matched the number of feet coming in, can you give us a ballpark number of how much money was taken yesterday at the Mall of Africa?
No.
Why not?
All I can say is the retailers...
You mean you won't or you can't?
No, both.
Okay.
The retailers exceeded their budget expectations for the day. I think that's what we want to know, is you had a budget, did you make it? And everyone that I've got feedback from exceeded their budget expectations. So that for us is good. Because the opening day turnovers for a retailer, and they will all tell you, gives you a very good indication of future trade for any mall. So if you have a good opening, it gives a good heads up for the future.
James, congratulations first on being able to pull that off. I mean, you have a great location. So, I mean, going forward, how will you try and keep, these kind of volumes? Because, it was tremendous opening day. I don't know, what did you guys, did you negotiate maybe a discount to get a lot of those people there? But you can't carry on giving discounts to attract people because there's lots of mall in Gauteng area.
Are you talking about the retailers specifically?
Yeah.
Obviously, on opening days like this, the retailers give phenomenal discounts, specials, they advertise them well, and people come from far to take advantage of those. But I mean, we don't expect 120,000 people every day forever. So that will be a more manageable number, and but the mall itself, as well as the retailers, promote on a constant basis. But obviously, the opening day is something different.
I'm not a great shopper, okay? I like shopping for food. I hate shopping for everything else. I don't like going to malls. And what have you done that's different to make mall visiting? Some people love going to malls. What are you doing differently? Have you taken it to the next level? It's not just that it's big.
No.
What have you done?
You should do yourself a favor and go, even if you don't like malls, because it is really spectacular. We looked at malls all over the world. I mean, we are involved in and own malls all over the world, and we know that this is leading. It's world leading in terms of the design, in terms of the layout, in terms of the tenant mix, and just the general experience. Because people want to go to malls not for convenience; they want to go for the experience, and they want to spend time there.
Yeah. Don't know about you, Singer. I find them noisy. The noise gets enclosed. So if you eat at a restaurant in a mall, there's this noise.
Huge noise, and I'm also not a fan of actually big malls because, it's a lot of walking.
So give us an example of something that's different.
Yeah, what is different between the Mall of Africa and Sandton City or Mandlin?
Yeah.
The spaces, the lighting. You can walk on the lower level of the mall, and you will get absolutely 100% natural daylight in the lower level of the mall. The malls are wide, there's lots of openings, the roofs are all made of glass. So, well, the ETFE roof, which is a special product in the center of the mall, is actually, it lets the light in, but it's made of an air cushion, which regulates the heat as well. So we've got a 2-hectare park in front of the mall, which is designed for sort of open-air amphitheatre, and that is definitely something that we don't have anywhere else.
What about parking? And the bigger they are, the further you've got to walk if it's busy.
It's big, so you will walk, but I mean, we've strategically placed the parking on all 4 corners of the mall, so you don't have to walk too far from any parking area to get into the mall. We've got 6,500 bays. They were obviously all full yesterday and today, but walking is not a problem. You will walk far in the mall because it's big, but not from where you park.
And then what are some of the security features that you've got in there, you know, to sort of safeguard the pub from whatever incident that may occur?
There were reports of cars being stolen. I don't know where they were stolen.
No, many of them were people that couldn't find their cars, if the truth be told.
Oh.
So yes, there were, and there's another side to that story too. Obviously, we have a proper security plan. I mean, I can't give you the details of it, but I mean, the mall security is a big issue. It's a big issue all over the world, and we have put in every measure possible in terms of security plan to make sure that the mall is safe.
I often wonder whether the malls generally are doing enough. You see stories of armed robberies, and you think, well, how can guys with weapons, and often it's big gangs with lots of weapons, how do they get in? I mean, that's something I would like to see taken to the next level, where it's impossible, either through metal detectors or searching or whatever. Now, you've got to balance that against ease of access, I know.
If you look at what happened at the Westgate Mall in Nairobi, those people imported the weapons that they wanted. They hired a store there. And they, you know, so even if there are metal detectors at the door, it doesn't stop someone who's determined. You can only do the best you can. So, you know, a full-on terrorist attack like happened there, very difficult to stop but you know, it isn't something that's happened here, and hopefully it's not something that's...
What about the commercial element, where you've got a lot of shopping centres, big malls in Johannesburg? Now, a lot of those people who went to the Mall of Africa yesterday and today, the day before they were going to another mall. So at what point does the consumer market is not big enough anymore to cope with another big mall? So you start, I'm not saying you will fail because of that, but maybe other malls will see less business because of you.
I think that's a fact.
That's
inevitable, but it doesn't mean that malls will stop being developed. It's really, we are the owners of malls. We have new malls and old malls, and it's really up to us to make sure that the older malls, the weaker malls, stay relevant. You know, you need to change them, you need to redevelop them, they might need to become something else. But certainly this node is very strategically placed. Any developer for the last 20 years that's driven on that highway thought this must be a good place for a mall. In fact, there were a number of malls planned there historically which never happened. So this is not a new thing. But yeah, the market is the size it is, and there's, you know... it's a competitive environment.
Definitely. Also, just talk us through the planning of that whole waterfall city, because I think there's obviously a mall and there's some corporate companies that are building buildings in there, and I think there's also residential properties that are being
There are a number of things happening in the broader area.
How is that going to be all controlled with all that public and, you know, and everyone that's there?
Again, it's an integrated system. There's an integrated security system which links from a central hub that will cover the whole of the waterfall precinct. The residential section is done by somebody else. So we're looking at the commercial side. And as and when the commercial space comes online, it gets linked up to the security system. So that's something that develops as the property develops.
Maybe in 10, 15, 20 years' time, people will say the vision that you had to do this, because it's actually going to be at the centre of the city that is going to be Johannesburg and Pretoria, which is now just one big city, because that's what's going to happen, and you'll be in the middle of it.
Absolutely.
And that's obviously your strategy. One last question is, we had heard a stat earlier in the week that for the number of people in South Africa and the number of malls, available square meters, whatever, we are among the top 2 or 3 in the world in terms of development and exposure and availability of mall space.
We definitely are, but I mean, you need to be careful of statistics, because the statistics don't tell you where those shopping centres are. And even disregarding Mall of Africa for now, there may well be places in the country that don't have a shopping mall. So the statistic, you can't tell those people, look what the statistic says.
So there's more to come.
So you can't have a mall.
Yeah.
There's definitely more to come,
yeah.
for sure.
Are you concerned about the consumer spending patterns lately?
Look, the turnovers in our malls are still good.
We'll have to stop, James. We could go on all night, but time is against us. What I've developed a law about the consumer is that whenever they say the consumer has run out of steam, the South African consumer somehow finds a way to keep going. So I don't think you're going to have a problem.
We'll build places for them to shop.
Yeah, you're going to build more places, that's for sure. So well done to James Ehlers, MD of Atterbury Property Development, for that massive Mall of Africa project. Well,